organizational meeting. Present are myself, Mary Jane Connor, Nellie, Patricia, Peter, Kevin, and the director, Jennifer.
Mary Jane, excuse me. Can I ask you to repeat what the meeting is again, because the recording started late?
Okay, and this meeting is the Board of Trustees organizational meeting for the making meeting assignments and officer assignments for the coming year. We'll start with any public comments.
There is no public.
Okay. We're going to begin tonight's meeting with a welcome to Kevin Sheehan. We thank you, Kevin, for offering your time and talents to the Easton Library. We look forward to working with you. And Nellie is going to give an introduction. So I'll turn it over to Nellie.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have a little something here. So Kevin and Alyssa and their two girls, Quinn and Nola, they moved to Easton in 2021 after having lived in Saratoga for many years. He's been an occupational therapist for 20 years, working locally at Saratoga Hospital and at Sunnyview Rehabilitation Hospital. Kevin is a homeschool dad, which is awesome. He is excited to become more involved in the Easton community and share the many benefits and wonders of the library with as many people as possible, which I'm sure Jennifer knows. Rarely more than a couple of days go by without a family member or all visiting the library. And if you don't know, in his free time, Kevin is an avid and enthusiastic spoon carver. We should ask for samples. And especially samples for the maple syrup, because he's a maple syrup maker and just a really avid outdoorsman. So this is Kevin, and we're psyched to have him. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Nellie.
Yeah. Thank you, Kevin.
That's great. Thank you. It's always nice to have a neighbor of the library as part of the Board of Trustees as well. And you are residing in a house where previous trustees have.
Oh, I did not know that.
Really?
Yeah. So it's kind of a nice continuation of a tradition. Any questions so far, Kevin? Anything that you want to know that we haven't shared?
Oh, nothing yet. I mean, I'll read my handbook and find out all that stuff, but nothing off the top of my head. No, not yet.
Just feel free to jump in at any time whenever you have questions.
Okay.
So because this is our organizational meeting, we have to begin with assigning offices. The offices on the board are president, vice president, treasurer, and secretary. So this is always sort of what are we going to do this year? Currently, Linda Borden is the president. I'm the vice president. Peter is the treasurer, and Nellie is the secretary. So I could go through the offices one by one and ask for nominations. Or somebody could propose a slate. So which would be the most effective way to do this? I have not.
The most effective way is just renominate the current members, officers. Assuming everybody wants to stay there.
If you guys will have me.
Absolutely.
You're hanging in there with me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely, Nellie.
Does anybody propose any changes, or are people fine with things staying as they are?
Guys doing a great job.
I know. I was going to say, I'm good with it, but I'm not a board member.
So what we need to do then, somebody needs to make a nomination of slate of officers, propose a motion saying, I motion that, and then just list the names and the officers for the coming year.
Patricia, motion that Linda is the president. You are the vice president. Peter is the treasurer and Nellie is the secretary.
Okay. Thank you, Patricia.
Kevin, second that motion. How's that?
Okay, so there we go, Kevin. We got a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any nays? Okay, so off we go. Those will be the officers for the 2022 year. Next item is, what night of the week do we meet on? So currently we've been using Mondays and we've been meeting at 7:30. So first let's do the day of the week and then we can talk further about the time. Anybody have any problems with Mondays?
No.
Monday sounds good to me.
Monday's fine.
Okay. We don't have to make a motion, I don't think, on that. I think we can just assign Monday as our meeting date. Time-wise, you know, I feel like sometimes John and I get in the way of meeting earlier. I think Mondays is always an office night for him. I mean, I can consult him outside of this meeting. Do you think is it a problem for anybody to meet at 7:30? Is it?
No, I can make it 7:30.
I have to say that I actually like it because then I can take care of my kids and the family and the animals and get everything put aside before the meeting. So it works for me. Okay. And Jennifer, how does it work for you?
That's fine. Yeah.
Live with it? Okay.
Yes.
So we'll have our meetings on Mondays at 7:30 p.m.
The only thing I would request is see if we can get the meeting over by 9, no later than 9.
I'm all for, yes. I think if you can't do it in an hour,
right. 8:30 to 9. I would give them till 9.
Yeah.
And as long as Jennifer, you can continue to give us a written director's report ahead of time, that I think saves a lot of time there.
Yes. Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay. So Peter's
That's my comment.
Okay. Thank you, Peter. Okay. So we have one order of business tonight, and that is looking for a motion on going back to normal operations. And this is regarding our COVID policy. So since the CDC is recommending that if your area, our county, is in low or moderate transmission, is that the right wording, transmission? Mm-hmm. That masking be inside be optional. So the motion would be, somebody would make a motion that we would go back to normal operations, making masking optional.
I can motion, Nellie can motion that we go back to normal operations and with a masking optional. Is that what it is? It would be with a masking optional attachment to the normal operations.
Yes. And with the message to people that we're fine if they continue to wear masks. You know, we're not opposed to the wearing of masks at all.
Right.
I just think that language is helpful because sometimes, you know, in the past 2 weeks, if people walk into places and people aren't wearing masks, they can feel like they're not supposed to wear masks. Mm-hmm. And we want people to know that whatever they choose to do individually is okay with us right now, right? And maybe some staff will continue to wear masks at certain times.
I just for example, not to drag this out, but I delivered eggs to Four Seasons today. And when I approached the door, it said, masks are optional. And then it said, and always welcome and welcomed or something like that. You know, just throwing it out there. That's not that we have to do that, but, you know, to kind of cover what you're saying.
Yeah, to make sure everybody feels uncomfortable with their choice, comfortable with their choices. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So once again, I would make a motion to go back to normal operations with a masking optional included with that.
Yeah. Thank you, Nellie. And also thank you, because you just brought my attention to that. We should have a discussion, that I should open the floor, have a discussion, because I was just moving forward. Do other people have things to say about this?
Sounds good to me. I'd second the motion.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I
agree.
Following the CDC guidelines. Yeah.
Okay. And so I guess we're ready for a vote. All in favor of the library going back to normal operations with masking optional?
Aye. Yes.
Aye. Any nays? Okay. Okay. Then we are back to normal operations. That seems pretty huge when you say it out loud, because it's been a long, long time.
It has been. It's been 2 years and like 1 week. Yeah, I think we did it March. Like, maybe it's been 2 years and 2 days. I don't know. It was like March 19th, 2020 or something like that. It was in March.
Mm-hmm.
2020.
Yeah, 2020.
Because that's when it came.
Yeah.
COVID-19 attacked.
But we had that emergency meeting, and we just, whoa. Yeah, it was crazy. It was about 2 years.
Just to think back at it. Thank goodness we didn't know it would be 2 years.
Oh, I know it, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
We would have been pretty freaked out.
Yeah. Wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, also thank you, Jennifer, for that great annual report. That was wonderful.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. And just tell the team too, tell your staff, like you guys have made such a great team working through all of this, you as the leader, but
thanks. I do have a great staff. I really do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then any additions, anything else we need to talk about? No. Okay. So we should set a time to meet in April. Does anybody have a date in April? What's this, the 21st? I know there's the vacation week. What's that, like almost, we might want to avoid that week. Do you want to meet a week earlier or a week later? Does anybody have a calendar really right in front of them?
I do.
Okay.
Oh, vacation week. I'm not sure what week is vacation week.
It's the 17th to the 23rd is the Easter vacation or spring vacation.
I would be better off meeting just because of Cliff's surgery. I'd prefer to meet the week after the 25th of April.
Okay.
Hopefully I will not be around for the 25th of April, so I would not be able to make the meeting.
Oh, well.
Well, that doesn't sound very, what are you not going to do? Where are you? That's sort of
for Florida, I hope.
Oh, good, good.
Nice.
Going down to visit my sister-in-law, assuming the weather and the flu and everything stays. The weather I'm not worried about. Just this virus stays away.
Yeah.
Okay, nice. So if we have Kevin, Mary Jane, Patricia, and Linda, that would be a quorum for a meeting. But I don't know, is that too close for comfort, Mary Jane?
What?
For a meeting.
What day?
On the 25th.
I'm okay with the 25th if Peter's okay with us going ahead
That's not a problem. I can forward everybody a copy of the financial report before I go on vacation, and you'll have that. And if anybody has any questions, they can get back to me.
And thank you, Peter, for all you've done with the treasurer and given that report tonight too at the annual meeting. Okay, so let's do April 25th at 7:30 p.m. will be our next meeting date.
Okay.
Okay. So could I have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion we adjourn.
Second?
I can second that.
Okay.
Patricia.
Patricia seconds the motion. Peter made the motion. So we are adjourning at what time? 8:20 p.m. See everybody on the 25th. Maybe in person.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, because the state of emergency, I think, ends on the 15th.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good, good.
So we can stop the recording.